Hey everybody, just wanted to come to y'all again and see how everybody was doing. I wanted to make a quick video on a truck driving review job. Uh, this place comes from personal knowledge. Um, my dad worked with these people for about a year, and a terrible place to work. It's in Iowa, and these people, I cannot say, beware enough. Get this fixed. Anyway, cannot say beware of these people enough because these people are crooks, thieves, and liars, is what they are. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name right. The name is Holtkamp or Holtkamp Trucking out of West Point, Iowa. The owner is Les Holtkamp, and his I'm gonna keep this PG. I'm not gonna try to cuss. His significant other, Tina War is her name, and her last name is Fitton because all she could do was fuss and fight at drivers. Anyway, like I said, he went to work with these people, and not quitting from me and my trucking company. His truck's in the shop. It's going to be in the shop a little bit longer than what we expected. It's getting completely overhauled from bumper to bumper and from inside out. So it's going to be a little while before his 2005 International Eagle 9400i is going to be ready. For one, we're completely taking that cat motor out. We're going to see about either getting a good Detroit or a good Cummins to go back in it. C13 is one of the worst motors cat ever built. And we bought another truck. It's a 1986 Kenworth flat top, and we're about to get it ready to get on the road too. It's a 400 Big Cam Cummins, and I know a lot of people's going to sit there and go, Cummins didn't make a 400 series. They made a 2, they made a 3, and they made a 4. I've never heard of a 400. Well, if you've never heard an old truck driver sit there and say, well, I drive a 350 Big Cam Cummins or a 400 Big Cam Cummins, then shut up and go away. You don't need to watch my video anyway. So anyway, get back to the point. Those trucks will be ready to go, hopefully, by, I'm going to say July, maybe August, hoping. But getting back to him driving for this man out of Holtkamp. My dad is an older man. Matter of fact, he just had a birthday. He turned 73 years old. He just got his DOT physical, completely healthy. Been doing this for 50-something years now. So anyway, he took early retirement, and because my mother got really sick, and he had to stay home and take care of her. So anyway, 2012, my mama passed away, and wasn't long after that till me and my wife, we took and bought a truck, a 2005 International Eagle 9400i, the one that's in the shop. So anyway, it all started from there. But anyway, he takes and comes to me and he asks me, what do you think about me going to work with this fella in Holtkamp? And he sent me all these text messages. Yeah, you'll be in this truck right here. It's a 2019 Kenworth and 13 speed, Jake brakes, fully loaded, and all this other stuff. And we pay 50 cents a mile, and you can get all the miles you want. And we take out taxes, and then we'll get back to that in a minute. We take out taxes, and it's, we pay for everything. So anyway, what about getting up to Iowa to go to work? Can you help me? So you know, Les Holtkamp took and told him, say, hey, you can either fly or we'll get you a car up here. We'll rent you a car. So anyway, he calls me back and sits there and goes, hey, they're willing to do this. What do you think? I took and told myself, I think it's great. All I can tell you is try it and see. So he asked me, he said, well, I didn't ask. They allow riders. Will you be willing to go with me? And I told him, I said, you know what? Yeah, I'll go with you. If it don't work out, then we'll just get another rental car and we'll go home. So anyway, they paid for the motel room, by the way, which was fine. That was good. They paid for the gas up there, rental car. The only thing they didn't pay for was the eats. Fine. We get up there and there was no orientation. He filled out his tax papers, and his direct deposit. Took him to the truck and got what little bit of stuff he had, put it in the truck, and we went to sleep. Got up the next morning, and there was another guy there, if you want to call it orientation, that showed up. And so we drove from the Illinois state line, I think it was, Illinois state line over to Iowa, which is right together. West Point, it's not that far. So anyway, we followed him and this other driver that they had just hired. And he was there to pick up his truck and go to work too. So anyway, we took and followed, got over there, before cranking up the truck, my dad goes completely over it. Checks the oil, water, power steering, checks all the hoses, everything. Antifreeze level, everything for he cranks one up. He's one of those old timers. You just don't jump in it just because a man tells you, yeah, it's ready to go. You want to check it out yourself and make sure. So he checks it out. He takes and tells me, hey, crank it up. It's good to go. Crank it up. And the following morning, Tina, this witch, comes up and has this gentleman a load going to Texas. So anyway, there's another driver that pulls in and he quits. And he paid, was going to pay my dad to help him clean his truck out. Anyway, he didn't pay him, so that's another story. Anyway, he gave him a bunch of stuff, though, out of his truck. So, anyway, getting back to it, he leaves, and he leaves this truck. Oh, my God. I didn't even want to open the door to look. It was that disgusting. Matter of fact, the truck that my dad was in, I opened the refrigerator and there was maggots. But it was ready to go. It was clean. It had maggots in the refrigerator. I told Les took and washed it himself. I asked him, I said, you got anything that I could, get the maggots out and clean it with? We don't have anything. He takes it and he gets it and cleans it himself. Fine. This dude's truck, I helped clean. Tina, because I'm from the South, and if you can help a lady, fine, so I get gloves, and I go in this truck, and I help her clean the best that I could, clean this truck out. Anyway, we get outside, and they get a phone call. The new driver that they just hired, he got to almost to Kansas, and he's in an automatic. The transmission falls out, goes out in the truck. They got to go get it. Out of the blue, this woman looks at me and sits there and goes, when he gets back, I think I'm going to fire him. And I ask her, why, Tina? Or Miss Tina, why? Well, he's been here almost 2 weeks. Why has he been here almost 2 weeks? And we put him up in a motel, and we bought his food. And we paid for the motel room. I asked her, I said, well, why? Why have you done that? Well, when we got him here, I took him to a clinic that I know the doctor at to do a UA, a DOT UA. He does the UA. It comes back positive for, I want to say it was cocaine. And she told me, she said, we had to keep him in a motel, dry him out. And I had to plead with my doctor friend not to turn it in as a dirty UA. 7 to 8 days later, I took him back to another doctor that I knowed to do another UA. Well, he passed it. Opposing. So, I don't know if the dude passed it or not. Anyway, I took and told her, I said, are you crazy? What if he gets in a wreck? What? I mean, my God, are you... I was speechless. I was really speechless. Daddy comes up and sits there and goes, what in the world? I heard you. He popped dirty for drugs and you hired him anyway to drive a 80,000-pound truck down the road so he could get high again and kill somebody. Well, when he gets back, I'm going to fire him. Well, he never got back. So she could fire him. They kept him out on the road. They brought him another truck, and he stayed gone for a good long while. And this fella lived in North Carolina. I live in Georgia, so anyway, we're both from the South. So anyway, I got to asking this dude before he left. I got to asking this dude, hey, I heard you failed your UA, your urinary test the first time. Yeah, man, I did. I had a little bit of weed in my system, and right then and there, I knew she wasn't full of it. He had failed his urinary test for employment. And so anyway, I got his phone number and I called him. And I still talk to this dude today. I don't think he's a bad dude. I just think he's got issues like everybody does. Do I condone what he's doing? No. I'm actually in the works of calling the Iowa DOT to report Holtkamp on this issue. So anyway, and other things. So anyway, kind of find out he's not the first one that this has happened to. This makes about the third or the fifth driver that they've hired. Got him up there, do a drug test, and he fails it. They put him in a motel room for a week or two, let him dry out so he could pass a urinary test, because they got so much money already invested in him. Plane ticket or rental car, and his motel is just going to make them go broke. And this company has 20 trucks, maybe 25. They do lease homes too. So anyway, I sit there and go, my God, are you retarded, Tina? Really? Or if he gets in a wreck and God forbid he kills somebody, the first thing they're going to do is draw blood. That's a given. They're going to get your blood. And they're going to see if you got drugs in your system. Somebody that is on crack or cocaine, they're not just going to quit like that. How the dude done it to pass a urinary test, I think that Tina probably, or less one, peed in a cup and he put it in a condom and strapped it in his groin to keep it warm. A lot of people do that. I think that's what happened. So anyway, getting back to it. So anyway, there was other little things. The fact they was getting sued by a bunch of drivers over taxes. The IRS was going after them for tax evasion and other stuff is what was told to us, or told to Daddy, and he told me. And a lot of this information, I was standing right there and heard it with my own two ears. So anyway, uh, so anyway, all of a sudden, I rode with him. Not gonna lie, it was nice to be able to have one-on-one time, just me and him, in a truck going down the road. You know, with really no worries. Trying not to anyway. You always got worries, but getting back to the point, we go to Dallas. He's got to unload in Dallas, and he had run his logbook out, and he couldn't leave from Prime. It was Prime Warehouse. He couldn't leave from the Prime Warehouse. Amazon. I'm sorry, y'all. It was Amazon. He couldn't leave from the Amazon. So Tina gets on the computer, because it is a ELD truck. It's got a tablet and it's hooked up to Keep Trucking. Some way, somehow, she goes on there. She goes back on his logbook. Excuse me. And I don't know how she done it. But anyway, she got him a full 10 hours of driving. And he's telling her, Tina, I'm so sleepy. I've been up. You know, I'm supposed to be on my break. Well, you can take your break tonight. After he'd been up all night long to get to his drop. And, I mean, he had 0 hours. I'm seeing this with my own eyes. 0 hours. And I took and told Dad, I said, look, if she fixes it or not, go to bed. Let's go to bed. It had double bunks. Let's go to bed. You know, it's not worth it. You know, if she fires you, she fires you. Fine. Well, he goes ahead. I'll tell you that much. He went ahead. And it was daylight, and a lot of old timers, old time truck drivers, they don't sleep in the day. They like to sleep at night, including my daddy. He can't sleep really good at night. When it gets daylight, his eyes is wide open. So anyway, he goes ahead and he picks the load up. When it gets dark, he stops. Okay, the phone starts ringing. Our dispatcher. He picks up the phone and sits there and goes, hello? What are you doing? Run your split clock. That load's got to be there. But you told me I could go to bed tonight when I run my hours out. Yeah, but that load can't be late. You need to get up and go. Run your split clock. So it was things like that, you know, that this woman, you could not please her. You could not please this woman at all. She knew it all. She knows it all, and Les too. I think Les is a good man. He just needs to grow some balls. He don't say nothing. This woman, Tina, runs the whole outfit. And for one, she's an alcoholic. She's never hardly sober. And Les, he has a farm. He's busy farming and doing work on trucks, if you want to call it that. So anyway, this woman, she is something else, let me tell you. At a drop of a hat, she will cuss you out. She thinks if you take Tylenol for a headache, that you can't drive. That's illegal. You can't take Tylenol. You can't take ibuprofen and drive. It's illegal, according to her. So, my dad gets sick, and I'm with him. He gets really sick. And he starts running a fever. He starts coughing really bad. Nose running, stopped up. Terrible. Body aches. Terrible. He calls his dispatcher that's supposed to be the office manager, but really isn't, because Tina is on a power trip and won't let this lady do her job. So anyway, he calls him and tells him, look, I'm sick. I'm so sick. And he was. Because guess what? I got it too. And I started coughing, nose running, headaches, fever, chills, and then the body aches. And then I started throwing up. I couldn't keep water down. So anyway, he takes and tells him. Well, he gets back to Tina. Don't move that truck. They wanted him to go to Walmart and get a humidifier and over-the-counter drugs. Because they're doctors, or Tina is. She's a doctor. She knows it all. And it's just a cold. Yeah. Just a cold. So anyway, he starts to pull out of the Loves after he dropped the trailer and put a shrink lock on it. He starts to pull out. Get a phone call. Woo! Picks up the phone. Guess who? It's Tina! What does she do? Excuse my language, but word for word. What the fuck are you doing? You don't move that fucking truck nowhere. Are you stupid? Don't move my damn truck nowhere. He circles back around, backs up close to the trailer, but don't hook up. And all of a sudden, we get a phone call back. We got your Uber. You're going to the ER. Okay. We get to the ER, and we're standing out in the cold and in the rain. There's people sick everywhere. It's going to be a while. So I call my wife, and I take and tell her, look, give me an Uber. I'm going back to the truck. So anyway, we sit there 3 days. And finally, Tina relents. She gets us a load going home. Going close to home. It's got to go to Jacksonville, unload, and then come home. About 100 miles away from Jacksonville, where we live. We get the load off, come home, and we are both deathly sick. Really bad. We take a COVID test, and guess what? Yes, we have COVID. First time ever having COVID. Me and him have it. And just to forewarn y'all, this may be a 2-part video because my phone only lets me record up to, I think, like a minute. So if it stops, go to the second video. I will upload it right after this one. So anyway, getting back to it. We go and I come back from the doctor. He gets a work excuse because of COVID, sends it in. According to her, doctor's excuses don't mean nothing. So anyway, we're out. He's out. He's out of work for almost 3 weeks. It was really bad. I mean, it was. Not only did we have it, but we gave it to family members too. I gave it to my wife. The only one that didn't get it was our son. He didn't get it, thank God. But everybody else did. And we were all deathly sick. So anyway, we starting to feel better. Well, he needs to get his DOT physical. It's 24 days and it runs out. They want it right now. He's got almost a month to go on his DOT physical, but they want it right now. No, you're not going back to work until we get that DOT physical. So anyway, he goes to his doctor and says, hey, I need a DOT physical. Sorry, y'all. Vapor. So anyway, the doc sits there and goes, look, you just tested positive for COVID. I cannot give you a DOT physical. Do you want me to give you another work excuse? Yes, please. So anyway, according to her, no. That was on a Monday. She drops an ultimatum. You either have it by Tuesday, even though you still got COVID and still run a high fever, You either have your DOT physical by Tuesday, and plain words, your ass better be in that truck come Wednesday, or I'll find somebody else to come pick up the truck. So, as you can expect, they come pick the truck up because enough was enough. Enough was enough. He was supposed to have been out every 2 weeks. Okay, he was staying out 3, 4, 5, sometimes 5 weeks. You know, these people are nothing but liars. And Tina treats every driver like he's a pile of dog shit. This woman, I cannot stress enough how crooked this woman is. And come to find out, Les is too. So anyway, before this, we got to looking into the taxes. They was taking out close to $500 on my dad just in taxes. He's a widower, single man. Why is the taxes $500 just about every week? And I have the papers that shows that it was close to $500 every week just in taxes. Okay. They was chipping him out of his miles. If his miles, just say from where we live to El Paso, if that load shows 1,500 miles, just saying, hypothetically, if it was 1,500 miles, they would only pay you for 900 miles. They were ripping drivers, and they're still doing it to this day. They are ripping drivers off left and right. Left and right. Come to find out, the taxes that they was taking out should have been only $200. So, and they were ripping not only my dad, but other drivers, ripping them off of their miles and their taxes too. So, anyway, the dude that popped up dirty, he finally quit. He had enough. He couldn't deal with Tina. Les would not be a man and run his own company. He would let his girlfriend, I think that's what she is, or significant other, whatever she may be. I can tell you what she is, but anyway, I done said enough. Anyway, drivers could not get sleep. They've had a pile of drivers to quit in this year alone. And we've only been in this year now for 2023 for 12 or 13 days now. So they've had a lot of drivers to quit. So anyway, get back to the point. He is going to take legal action. He's just got to get all of his papers in a row. So if you ever see Holtkamp Trucking needing drivers, stay away. I promise you. You do not want to work for these people. They talk real nice on the phone till they get you there. And then it's a totally different story. So, with that being said, I hope this video helps you. Like I said, if you see this trucking company out of West Point, Iowa, matter of fact, the where the trucks are is in the middle of a field with a barn. That's all he's got. So, stay away from them. It's not worth leasing your truck on, and it's definitely not worth going to work for them. They cheat you out of your money. One way or the other, they're going to cheat you. So, with that being said, I hope everybody had a good New Year's, and I hope everybody's doing good, and keep it up. And I hope everybody's staying safe out there on the road. So, we'll see y'all out there very soon. Y'all have a good one.